All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And welcome to the ACT training webinar series for November 2023. Today, we're going to talk about SMS text messaging within ACT. I'm going to show you a feature, an optional feature that you can use to send a text message directly to your contact or contacts or groups. And we'll get into all that in just a minute. For those of you who are new to the ACT training webinar series, here's a few things that we can do for housekeeping. We do welcome and encourage questions, but please do those inside Zoom, inside the Q&A panel. That's where we're going to field all your questions today. And I just do ask that you please try and keep it on topic. We're not going to really address any questions that are not pertinent to today's webinar. This webinar is being recorded. Even though I say that, we still get half a dozen to a dozen questions saying, is this being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. When you registered for this webinar, you gave us your email address, and we will send you a link to that recording, to the recording at that email address you sent us. You can also access all of the webinars from history. I think this is the 16th or 17th one that we've done. You can go to our website, act.com/explore, and you'll be able to see all of the previous webinars, including this one. We tend to post it up there within a day or two of it taking place. So yes, this is being recorded, and we will send it to you. At the end of this webinar, I'm going to send you a survey. We're going to send you a survey, and just to capture your thoughts on how you thought this went. If you have any feedback, we'd love to hear it. If you have any ideas for future webinars, that would be great too. I believe we're going to take December off for the Christmas holiday and then New Year's and all that. So our next one will be at the end of January. Gives us a good couple months to sort of brainstorm some new ideas for next year. So please send those over. We do take those suggestions seriously, and we try to create webinars for every possible request. Okay, so let's begin today. I'm going to go over our agenda real quick. I'm going to give you an overview of SMS for ACT. That's the name of the SMS feature within ACT. I'll give you a live demonstration of it. I'm going to show you how you can create and send text messages. I'm going to show you how you can create templates, so reusable text messages that include mail merge features. We're going to show you what happens when you send these messages, how they appear in ACT, and then what happens when you receive replies on those messages. I'll even show you how to sign up for a trial of this service. So again, we have Q&A going. I got Dan Horn on the line. He's answering some questions as we go. So let's begin. My name is Brent Milner. I didn't even introduce myself today. Sorry about that. My name is Brent Milner. I've been with the ACT team for 18 years. My job here is to create training videos, learning curriculum for our new hired employees, for our continued employees, for our partners and customers like you. My job is to make sure you have a good knowledge base to work with so that you're comfortable using ACT. I live in northern Arizona, where there's snow beginning to happen this week. So I don't know. I guess I need to get some jackets going. So today I'm going to talk about integrated SMS text messaging. It's called SMS for ACT. And let me just first start off by saying this is not a replacement or competition for email marketing. Email marketing is highly effective. It has been for decades. In recent years, though, we've seen that businesses of all sizes are finding that text messaging is a great way to keep in contact with customers. Maybe you're like me. I approach my email inbox differently from texts that I receive. And I think most people are like that. So this whole webinar isn't to say that you should forego one in favor of the other, because I think each email and text messaging has a unique place in how you communicate with your customers and your prospects. So don't give up your email marketing strategy for this. Instead, supplement it with sending timely and meaningful text messages so that you can perfect the way you reach out to your people. And with SMS for ACT, there's kind of like a three-tiered approach that we like to talk about. First being extending your reach. So with SMS for ACT, you can send text messages easily. You can send them quickly. One benefit is that your texts that you send and the texts and the replies that you receive to those texts, they're all going to show up as history records for each of your contacts in ACT, and also on your history list for yourself. Next, you can personalize this for maximum effect. What I mean by that is there are going to be lots of different occasions where it might make more sense to send out a text message than an email. Maybe you're scheduling a meeting. Maybe you're shipping things and you want to send out a notification that this thing has shipped to you. Maybe if you have new promotions you'd like to announce real quick, like for example, Black Friday. That's a good thing to send out a quick Black Friday announcement. This past week might have been a good way to do it through a text messaging. So there's lots of different ways that you can extend your reach by using SMS for ACT. And finally, relying on a global leader. SMS for ACT teams with Message Media. This is one of the best partners possible because they are a reliable messaging provider. And they've done it for a while, and they have a global, worldwide approach to it. So these three tiers are reasons why we're using this system. So let's talk about how to use SMS for ACT. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. I'm going to show you how you can use the text editor to create text messages, sending text to individuals, and also to lookups or groups in ACT. So the first thing I want to do is send a basic text message to one contact. I've got a contact selected. It's me. So I'm going to send a text message to me. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to double click my name here in the list view to go to the detail view in ACT. So I'm looking at my contact record. We've added this send SMS button at the top of the screen. When I click on that, it's going to open up the SMS for ACT window, which is the send SMS screen here. So it automatically chooses send to current contact, and it uses the phone fields down below. Now, you have a drop down here where you can choose any of the phone fields that are listed for your contacts. So if you create a custom phone field, that will be added to this drop down list as well. You can choose which one you want to use. Preferably the mobile phone is the one, because that's the one that is most likely able to receive a text. You just type in a message, hello Brent, and click send. And this will send out that text message. It also lets you know that how many characters you're using, and how many credits this is going to cost. And I'll talk about this character limit and what determines a character, what determines a credit. I'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about some of the limits for sending a text. So that's that easy. When you click send, it's going to send this text message out. It's going to give you a little confirmation screen to say send this out. Now, this isn't a real phone number, so I'm not going to do it. But when you click yes, it'll send that text out, and it'll do a few things. I've sent some out before, so let me show you what this looks like. One of the things that this will do is on my history tab for this contact, it's going to record any text messages that I've sent and also any that I've received. Now, I have a lot of stuff going on in my history list, so let me just go to my types filter, and I'm going to filter only within the activity histories SMS. You see there's another drop down here. I can filter alerts and errors and replies and text sent. So I'm just going to leave all four of those selected. When I collapse that filter screen, now it's only going to show the texts that I've sent and the replies that I've received. So this is great because it keeps that history for you, even when you receive a message or a reply from one of your contacts. Now, talking about responses, if you're, and I'll talk about the free trial in a little bit, but if you're using a free trial on either ACT Premium or desktop, for desktop or cloud, replies will automatically be forwarded to your email address within a few minutes. So I'm going to see these replies in my email. Let me open up Outlook, and you'll see that I have a reply message here, and that just will show exactly what the history is showing, except it's being sent to your email, the email that you provided when you signed up. If you've upgraded to a paid version of SMS for ACT, then you can go to the SMS menu at the top and choose account settings. And from here, you can go to the SMS replies area and tell it how often you want to check for messages. So right now I have it set to every 5 minutes. If that's too often, maybe I can change that to 15 minutes. So you can determine how often it should check for your replies. And we'll go through some of these screens here in a little bit as well. One other place where you can see your replies is in or your texts and your replies is in the history list. I mentioned this earlier. If you click history list in the left navigation, and then again, I'm going to change my filters to show only my SMS histories. When I filter that, it's showing all the history, all the text that I've sent and received based on the current filters above. So right now it's only the last 30 days showing. If I extend this to all dates, we'll see that there's a few more that I sent and received back in June, I think. So here's another way that you can view the SMS messages you've sent and received to all contacts rather than just one contact, as we looked at before. Okay, next up, I want to talk about creating an SMS template. And so we're going to look at that as well. Now, one thing I want to show you first before I do that is I showed you how to send an SMS message to one contact. Well, what if I want to send an SMS message to several contacts? There's a couple of ways to do that. You can create a lookup, for example. A quick way to create a lookup is to go to your list view, choose several people, and then click lookup selected. You can also click create a lookup by performing a lookup from the lookup menu. But the end result is we want to have several people in the lookup. And once we do that, when we click send SMS, the send to area now lets me choose this current lookup, and it tells me there's 4 contacts here. So now I can send an SMS message to several people the same way that I would send it to one person, just by performing a lookup first. You can also do this from the groups area in ACT. So you don't always have to perform a lookup every time. You can create a group and then perform a lookup from the group. So let's go to one of my groups and select it. And then at the top, again, click send SMS. And now it's going to say, we're sending this message to the current group, which includes 23 contacts. This feature can be used on a single contact basis or on a lookup or on a group basis. Back to creating templates. So templates are great because now you can create messages that you might want to reuse in the future. Or maybe you want to personalize the message for each contact that you're sending it to. Now, this feature is currently only available in ACT Premium Desktop. It will be made available in ACT Premium Cloud in December. So it's going to be available on all platforms here in just a few weeks. Let's talk about it. Let's look at it. How am I going to create a template? So I'm going to go back to my contacts area, and I'm going to eventually send a template to maybe one of these contacts or several contacts. The way to create a template is to go to your SMS menu at the top, and I'm going to choose Manage Templates. So now I have a Manage Templates window, and we can see that there is a mail merge field option right here in the middle, and then the body of my message will go down below. So I'm just going to I've sort of pre-written a message so that I don't have to sit here and type it out for everybody. I'm going to just copy this into the detail area down below. So I've got 3 areas in this message where I want to use the mail merge feature, and I've sort of put some placeholders in there using X's and Y's. And so my first one is going to say hello and I want the person's first name, or their salutation is probably a better way of doing it. You can use first name. I use salutation in case they have a nickname, but it just depends on how you're using ACT. So I'm going to choose the salutation field, and I'm going to click Insert Field. Now, since I selected those X's ahead of time, it replaces what I've selected with this field. So you can see if you've ever done mail merge fields before, this looks kind of similar to that. The C stands for contact table. So it's looking on my contact table and it's locating the field called salutation. And it's going to insert whatever data is in that field in this text message. The next thing I want to do is say who I am. So the first field is addressing the contact to whom I'm texting. And the second field is I'm going to put my own name in there. Now I could just type it in here, but if somebody else wants to use this template, I want them to be able to have their own name show up here as well. So I'm going to switch from the contact field type to my record. This is looking up the person who's logged in, their data. So my record, I'm going to choose not just first name, I'm going to choose full name. So I'll use contact. The contact field combines the first name and the last name together. So I'm going to click Insert Field, and now it says this is, and there's the M, that means my table, my record. And it's going to bring in the whole contact name, first name and last name. And then the last thing I want to do is just put in my company name. So I'll keep it at my record, and then instead of contact, I'm going to choose company. And then I'll click Insert Field again. Okay, so now I have kind of the basis of a template. The one thing I want to do now before I exit this is I want to save this template so that it can be used in the future by me or anybody else who wants it. So I'll click Save Template, asking me what I should save it as. And let's see, I'm going to call it a on-site inspection. And you'll see that it saves it as a .sms type. It saves it to the database's templates directory. You can change this if you want to. I prefer to use the defaults, but if you have a different system, you can switch where you want that to be saved. Okay, so once I've saved it, we can see that the name appears in the window above, and it has been saved. Now, if I close this, we can always come back and edit this later. The way to do that, again, is to go to the SMS menu at the top and choose Manage Templates. And then from here, I'm going to click the Open button, which will open any existing templates that I have. So here's the one I just saved, On-Site Inspection. When I click Open, it shows up there. Maybe I want to save some characters. So instead of saying thank you, maybe I just want to say thanks. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Now I'm going to click Save again, and it will overwrite the previous version of this template. So now how do I send a template to one of my contacts? Let's test this out to see if it works. So I'm going to look at my own record again. I'm going to double click my name here. And I'm still in a lookup of 4 people, but I'm going to send it to one person first of all. So I'm going to click Send SMS. And I'm going to send it to the current contact, which is me. But now I'm going to open a template. So if I go to my on-site inspection template and I click Open, now it's going to populate this with the template I created. And you'll notice that the mail merge fields are working. So here is the contact's name, Brent. And then this is the fake name I created for myself on this account, Brent Cloudwalker, from my company, which is Cloudwalker Supply. And so it goes through all that. Now I can send it out to this single contact. Or if I want to send it out to a group or a lookup, I can then just change this to say current lookup. Now, the thing that will happen when I do this is it will no longer show the specific merge fields for each of those contacts because I'm sending it to 4 people. So it doesn't really know what to put here. So instead it's telling me, I'm going to merge this into the fields for each of these contacts. So it won't say hello, salutation to each of these contacts. It'll put their first name in there. But because I'm using a lookup, it needs to let me know that there are merge fields here. Okay, so let's talk about how you can sign up for this. I'm going to switch databases here. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go back to my slideshow here. And I've already talked about viewing the sent messages in ACT. You can see those either on the history tab for each individual contact, or you can view those from the history list if you want to see a list of all of your text messages, regardless of contact. When your contacts reply to your text message, it's going to go to the email address that you provided when you signed up. And so those will arrive not only as history records, but they'll arrive in your email inbox as well. Getting started, you can sign up for a 14-day free trial right for within ACT, and it's a 3-step process. So I'm going to show you how this works. Let's go into ACT. I'm on the demo database, so I don't have a trial yet. When you go to SMS menu, now there is a Get Started option at the top. And there are 3 steps here to sign up for the trial to get started. The first thing you need to do is ACT needs to create SMS activity types in your database. By default, these are not there. So you have activity types for call activities, meeting activities, to-do activities, and any other custom ones that you've created. But in order for this to work properly, ACT needs to assign your text messages to the SMS activity types. So we're looking for SMS sent, SMS replies, SMS errors, and so on. Now you could go into the schedule menu and go to manage and choose activity types. You could go in here and then create these SMS activity types. It's kind of a confusing process if you don't know exactly what they're supposed to be called. So the easiest way to do this then is to just click this Create Activity Type button. When you click that, it gives you a verification that's saying this is what we're going to do. We're going to create an activity type called SMS, and there's going to be 4 different results: sent, replied, alerts, and errors. And if you're fine with that, click OK. And now ACT will create those activity types for you. So step 1 gets sort of grayed out to let you know you've already done this. If I now go to my schedule menu and choose manage activity types, we'll see now that the SMS activity type has been created. I can edit that and it'll show me the 4 result types that are there. So that's great. That's a lot of work that was accomplished with 1 button. So what's the next step? If I go back into Get Starting, step 2 would be to enter your email address and your location. So whatever email address you put here, this is where the replies will be sent when your contacts reply to your SMS messages. So make sure this is an email address that you monitor or that somebody monitors. Make sure it's a real email address. Otherwise, you'll run into some problems. And then the next thing you need to do is choose your location. So there are different rules, different processes that work depending on different regions where you are. There's lots of different regions here. Choose the one that is most applicable to you. And that'll be all set. And then the last thing you need to do is start your trial. So click the Start Free Trial button here, and it will be created. And it tells you when, I've already done this before, so that's why my trial ended. But it'll tell you your trial has been created. It lasts for a certain amount of time. And then it tells you what your limits are. So let me talk about some limits. SMS is an international standard, so the same rules apply to as any provider. You get a 14-day free trial here. And the way you're limited is by a thing called credits. So 1 credit, as it says on the screen here, is basically 1 message to 1 recipient of up to 160 standard characters. Now, you can use non-standard characters, symbols, or emojis. So that's how that gets calculated, because they take up more space than standard characters. They have to be limited in that way. So maybe an emoji will use 2 Unicode characters each. This is the way to limit that. And as you're typing your messages, as you're putting in emojis and other symbols, it will let you know how many characters you're using in each message. So now that I have my sign up, well, in this case, it would have, if I hadn't used it before, my trial period would be active and I could send and receive SMS messages as desired. How to upgrade now. If you're ready to upgrade to a paid version, maybe you've used this for a couple weeks, there's a link at the bottom of this getting started area that says select a messaging plan. This looks a little bit differently whether you're in desktop or in the cloud. So on this screen somewhere, there will be a link that says select a messaging plan. When you do that, it's going to take you to the area where you can purchase a plan. In the account settings tab, I've mentioned this before, make sure your email address is set to one that you monitor. This is where the replies will be sent. So if you want to see any replies to your SMS messages, this is a good thing to monitor. If you have any questions, here's some phone numbers that you can call to find out more about how SMS for ACT works in your locale, how, if you have any additional questions on how the trial works, converting to the trial, or specifics about the different types of plans. That concludes our webinar for today. I want to thank you for joining us. Again, if you want to see previous webinars from the months leading up to this one, go to act.com/explore, and we have the entire list, the entire catalog of webinars that we've produced previous to this month. If you would like us to create a webinar for a specific topic and you don't want to wait for the survey to let us know, or you just want to tell us more details about what you're looking for, just email us at team@act.com, and we do check those emails, so please send those over and we will have a look and see what you guys are thinking. So we'll stay around for a little bit longer here to finish answering up all the questions in the Q&A section. Again, thank you very much for joining us. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate other holidays, happy holidays, and have a good New Year. Everybody stay safe, and we'll see you in 2024. Bye.